Gentlemen, every week I meet men over 50 who think HIV doesn't concern them until it's too late. Robert is one of them. At 56, he walked into my clinic for prostatitis pain, expecting a quick antibiotic and a lecture about hydration. His tests told a different story. HIV positive. No dramatic symptoms. No high-risk lifestyle. A quiet belief that age itself was a shield. It's not the young ones I worry about. It's the ones who stopped worrying. I'm Dr. Jame, HIV researcher for over 20 years. My work is simple. Protect mature men with clear facts and practical steps. In the next few minutes, you'll learn 5 myths that quietly keep men over 50 in danger, and how to protect the next 20 years of your life with early testing and 1 minute of daily awareness and steady habits. If you've ever thought HIV was a young man's disease, I want to hear from you. Comment a number from 1 to 9 to say aware, and tell me which concern matters most to you: testing, symptoms, relationships, or prevention. Your voice here could be the nudge another man needs to stay healthy and confident. Before I guide you to the truth, I want you to meet Robert again, sitting in that quiet exam room, staring at the report that changed everything. In that moment, confusion replaced confidence. He didn't understand how it happened, and that's where we begin. Let's look inside his body and uncover what was truly going on that day. Before I guide you to the solution, I want you to understand this first: what was actually happening inside Robert's body that day. After 50, men experience gradual drops in testosterone. That shift doesn't just affect mood or energy. It subtly thins protective mucosal layers in the mouth, rectum, and urethra, and slows the immune cells that patrol those gates. When those surfaces dry, inflame, or micro-tear, the body's first barrier against viruses becomes easier to bypass. Think of your body's defense like an old firewall. It still runs, but updates arrive slower, alerts come late, and new threats slip past before the system reacts. If exposure happens, fewer sentinel cells arrive on time, giving HIV a longer window to enter, replicate, and seed hidden reservoirs. According to CDC surveillance, roughly 15% of new HIV cases in the United States occur in people over 50. Not because age is reckless, but because age can be overconfident. Add common midlife factors: untreated prostatitis, diabetes, blood pressure medications that dry mucosa, poor sleep, chronic stress, and the gate weakens further. In Robert, years of smoldering pelvic inflammation meant more microscopic openings and immune distraction. He felt fine, yet the alarms were delayed. The takeaway is simple. Your body still protects you, but its warnings arrive later. That delay is why many men don't realize an infection has begun until routine blood work or unrelated symptoms push them into testing. Understanding this biology turns fear into strategy, and strategy into earlier, smarter action, especially men over 50. Don't stop. Give me 30 seconds. Before solutions, I want you to clearly grasp 4 root causes, because clarity prevents regret later, and this is the most important message I want to leave with you today. Myth number 1. I'm married, too old, or not sexually active. Real life is messier. Divorce, travel, grief, and late-life dating create new partners and new networks of exposure, so protection depends on what happens now, not past labels, contracts, or assumptions. Myth number 2. If I had HIV, I'd see symptoms. HIV can stay quiet for 5 to 10 years, especially in men over 50 whose immune alarms ring later, so fatigue, Night sweats or prostatitis flares seem routine. Testing is deferred, and hidden damage advances silently. Myth number 3. Condoms mean zero risk. Condoms are highly protective but not perfect. Errors occur, lesions aren't covered, and contact with blood or sores can bypass barriers, so think of them as a strong seatbelt, not an invincibility cloak. Use them, test regularly, and treat STIs promptly. Myth number 4. I tested years ago, so I'm fine. Status expires. New partners, medical procedures, shaving cuts, or unrecognized exposures change the equation, which is why men over 50 need scheduled testing every 6 months. Robert's late retest revealed what routine screening would have flagged sooner. Robert's story ties these myths together. He relied on history, minimized vague symptoms, trusted condoms as perfection, and assumed an old negative still protected him, until reality broke the illusion. Connection to truth began the moment he scheduled consistent, no-drama testing and daily awareness. The pattern under every myth isn't age. It's the illusion of safety. Familiarity feels like protection. Yesterday's result masquerades as today's reality, and comfort replaces vigilance. Replace that illusion with actions that work now. Consistent protection, 6-month testing, partner transparency, and swift care when something feels off. Before you apply the 60-second solution, I want you to grasp one crucial thing about the hidden mechanism most doctors never explain. Missing it breeds complacency and quietly makes outcomes worse. I call it the immune gate. It is the thin, living barrier where the outside world meets your body's inner network. Mucosal surfaces, tight junctions, sentinel cells, and microvessels coordinate like doormen deciding who gets in and who gets denied. When the gate is fresh, hydrated, and calm, it blocks opportunists and flags trouble early. Stress wears that gate down. Cortisol changes blood flow, dries tissues, and slows the immune patrol. Chronic inflammation frays the microscopic seams, creating tiny openings you cannot see or feel. Poor sleep, smoking, high glucose, and dehydration add friction, turning a smooth gate into a squeaky, leaky hinge. It's like a tiny crack in your castle wall. Invisible, but deadly. Enemy scouts slip through the fracture, build a camp, and signal the army before your guards even wake up. Robert lived with that crack for years. Untreated prostatitis kept his pelvis inflamed, recruiting immune cells that were already tired and distracted. Inflamed tissue is easier to injure, so microtears formed during routine life and intimacy. Those small injuries widened the opening long enough for a virus to cross the threshold. Here is the part many men miss. Exposure is a probability, not a prophecy. When the immune gate is strong, the odds tilt in your favor. When the gate is worn, time favors the virus. Robert did not feel sick. He had good days and bad days, and he chalked the bad days up to age, stress, and work. The alarms were ringing, but later and softer, so he trusted silence and carried on. The turning point was understanding the gate. Once he saw the mechanism, he stopped asking, "Why me?" and started asking, "What now?" That mindset is powerful because it turns fear into a checklist you can follow today. Rehydrate your barrier. Restore sleep. Reduce inflammation. Respect small injuries. Rebuild the patrol with steady habits and scheduled testing. But what happened next proved how 1 minute of awareness can save a life for Robert. This is the part you've been waiting for. The simple action you can do right now, and please share it with someone you love the moment you finish, because 1 minute of clarity can change the next 20 years. I call it the 60-second immune check. See, sense, scan. It isn't fear, it's maintenance for your engine, the same basic upkeep you already give your car, your phone, and your home. Robert uses it daily, and it anchored the turnaround you saw begin earlier. 1. See. Spend 20 seconds in good light. Look for mouth ulcers that don't heal, a new skin rash or swollen glands under the jaw, in the neck, or groin. Check recent cuts or shaving nicks and make sure they heal as expected. 2. Sense. Spend 20 seconds on how you actually feel. Note unusual fatigue, night sweats, low-grade fevers, or steady, unexplained weight loss. Add pelvic discomfort, burning urination, or prostatitis that keeps returning despite antibiotics, because recurring inflammation can distract your defenses and raise risk. 3. Scan. Use the final 20 seconds to act. Put a 6-month HIV test on your calendar now, then set a reminder for partner conversations about testing and protection. If something felt off today, move your test up and get evaluated for STIs promptly. Here's how Robert applies it. Morning. He sees while shaving, then senses during breakfast, asking, "Is my energy normal or am I pushing through?" Evening. He scans, looks at the calendar and keeps his 6-month testing routine locked in place without drama. When you follow see, sense, scan, you trade anxiety for a checklist, and you trade guesswork for small, steady moves that stack the odds in your favor. If you can spare 60 seconds a day for your car or your phone, give the same care to your body. Enter a number from 1 to 9 in the comments to tell me how helpful this is for you and which step you'll start with today. Robert's confidence didn't come from luck. It came from a 1-minute habit that turned silence into information and information into action. Start tonight, share this with a friend, and carry the habit into the next section with me. Now, let me answer why this works. The evidence that turns doubt into confidence, so you can act without fear and protect the life you still want to live. Modern antiretroviral therapy blocks viral replication, drives the viral load to undetectable, and lets the immune system rebuild. Harvard cohort analyses and CDC surveillance agree on the big picture. When people start early and stay suppressed, life expectancy approaches the general population, roughly 90 to 95% retention. That is not optimism. It is the math of consistent adherence, stable suppression, and routine follow-up. Mechanistically, suppression prevents new cells from being infected, reduces systemic inflammation, and gives CD4 helper cells room to recover. When the viral load is low for months, mucosal barriers rehydrate, microtears heal faster, and your immune gate closes the tiny cracks that once invited trouble. Detection before deep immunodeficiency makes the climb back shorter, because fewer defenses were lost and fewer hidden reservoirs were seeded. Robert's numbers tell the story you can feel. He began care with a viral load in the hundreds of thousands and a CD4 count of 320, low enough to explain his fatigue and recurrent pelvic inflammation. At 3 months on therapy, his viral load hit undetectable and his sleep improved. At 6 months, his CD4 rose to 600, his energy returned, and those prostatitis flares faded. Nothing magical happened, only steady medication, hydration, better sleep, and the daily C-Sense scan routine you just learned. Early testing multiplies these gains. It shortens the window between exposure and suppression, limits immune wear and tear, and keeps comorbidities like diabetes or hypertension from compounding the risk. Men over 50 benefit twice, from viral control itself and from much calmer, more predictable care plans that fit real life. Undetectable equals untransmittable, adds a crucial social benefit, lowering anxiety in relationships and reinforcing adherence because every dose protects you and your partner. This is why the ritual works. It creates a loop where awareness triggers testing. Testing enables early treatment, and treatment restores the barrier that protects you. Knowledge and early care are better than luck. They are the difference between guessing and living, between waiting for alarms and building a quieter, safer future. Now comes a habit you cannot skip. Small daily actions that build a shield around your life and keep your confidence steady for the long road ahead. After his diagnosis, Robert didn't chase perfection. He chose consistency. He started with 15-minute walks, light resistance bands, and gentle stretches to loosen his hips and back. He set a bedtime, woke at the same hour, and trimmed late-night screen time to protect deep sleep. Breakfast shifted toward protein and fiber, lunch toward color and greens, dinner earlier, water always nearby. Within weeks, his resting heart rate fell a few beats and his breath came easier on stairs. Endocrine markers calmed, morning energy steadied, brain fog lifted. With suppression in place, lower inflammation meant fewer aches, steadier blood sugar, and less pressure on vessels that feed the prostate and pelvic floor. Mood followed biology. He felt less irritable, more patient, and more present with his son on weekend mornings. Anxiety shrank because action replaced guessing. His partner noticed the change in tone before the lab numbers returned. When you fix one gate, the whole kingdom thrives. The same choices that help antiviral therapy work also help blood flow, glucose control, and testosterone balance. Robert kept the C-Sense scan ritual as his daily compass and paired it with movement, sleep, hydration, and scheduled care. He still had stressful days, but resilience grew because routines catch you when willpower dips. Understand this truth. Living well with HIV is not a mystery, it is a method. Learn the method, repeat the steps, and your future opens. When knowledge meets routine, confidence returns, and the body remembers how to heal. His doctor simplified his hypertension meds and scheduled quarterly lipid checks. Purpose returned as he encouraged 2 friends to book tests and adopt the same 1-minute routine. Together. Now, let me show you how we turned knowledge into change for Robert, and how his share can help you see your life in color. I used to fear the word HIV, Robert tells me, his hands steady now. Now, I own my story, and I help other men stay safe too. Early on, shame weighed on him, making simple conversations feel steep, and appointments feel like verdicts. We worked one truth at a time. Your status is information, not identity. Your routine is a promise to your future. Your voice bridges men who still think age is armor. He practiced the C-Sense scan ritual as a daily act of respect, not punishment, and watched small wins line up like stones across a river he once thought uncrossable. When his viral load hit undetectable and CD4 climbed, pride returned as a whisper, then a posture, then a quiet smile. He told his son the plan, not the fear. He told his partner the truth and boundaries, and together they replaced guessing with a rhythm that felt kind. It's never too late to rewrite your health story, because the pages aren't inked by fate. They're written by actions, and actions are chosen one ordinary day at a time. Robert now mentors 2 men from his old gym, sharing the checklist, the calendar reminders, and the phrase he repeats when doubt circles back. Start where your feet are. If you're listening with a tight chest or a noisy mind, borrow Robert's sentence and make it yours today. Then follow it with one step that closes your gate and opens your future today. What Robert learned can save someone you love, someone you see in the mirror, or someone you haven't met yet, and your share might be the lamp on their path. And now, let's close this journey together. The part that brings everything into focus and reminds you why it all matters. If you've stayed with me until now, you already hold the keys to prevention, clarity, and control. You've learned how awareness, testing, and 1 minute of daily discipline can rewrite decades of fear and silence. Robert's story began in confusion and ended in confidence, not because luck changed, but because knowledge became habit. He realized that HIV is not a sentence. It's a signal to act earlier, live smarter, and love without hiding. That shift is waiting for every man willing to stop guessing and start checking. Let's summarize what truly protects you. Don't trust the illusion of age as armor. Learn the immune gate and keep it strong. Practice the 60-second C-Sense scan routine daily. Schedule testing every 6 months. Replace fear with facts and facts with steady action. Each of these steps builds your shield layer by layer until protection feels natural, like brushing your teeth or locking your door. That's how Robert rebuilt his health, his identity, and his peace of mind. If you've been listening quietly, wondering whether it's too late, hear me clearly. It's not. You are not behind. You are right on time, the moment you decide to know. So here's my final invitation. Share this video with one man over 50 today. You might save his health, his hope, or his tomorrow. Comment, "I'm aware," if you're choosing prevention today. And let's keep building a community of confident, informed men who take charge of their health. Because knowledge and early care aren't just medical tools, they're acts of courage. And courage, practiced daily, is how you stay alive and truly live.